Oh, yes.
Good morning to everybody.
everybody.
Oo.
Welcome to Go Palakas
Oo.
Radio Show.
Such a bright sunny day, no?
Oo.
Palakas Radio Show.
At saka may bumabati na sa atin kaagad from the start of the show pa lang, si Patrick
Good
and
morning.
si Bert.
Oo.
Good morning din sa inyo.
Good
Okay.
morning. Good morning sa inyo lahat.
Oo. And we would like to thank the weather for the past few days. Ang ganda na po, lumabas ang araw. araw. I'm
Oo
sure
nga.
everybody is very glad na merong araw naman. Pero syempre, pasalamat pa rin tayo dun sa ulan. No? Kasi we need the rain.
Kulang pa sa pagdasal sa ulan.
Kulang pa yun. Oo.
Kasi
Oo.
The Lord
buti
is
na lang,
giving us lots of
somehow,
water before the drought
normal,
shows up.
the rain that came down recently
Oo.
is only, kumbaga, if you measure it based on the normal cycles,
Oh.
Mhm.
that's only good for 6 weeks.
Oh my God.
Ay, ganun
Normally,
ba?
normally we get almost 3 months of that type of rain.
Oh.
But since the changes that has been taking place sa ating in our country,
Mhm.
you see, because of may climate anomaly kasi,
Oo.
people are always thinking of climate changing, but each location has its own reaction to the changes that's going on. For example, 6 weeks ago, hindi ba yung Typhoon Egay?
Oo.
Umikot-ikot pa siya.
Oo nga, namamasyal. Usually,
so it's-
diretso, oo.
Yeah,
loop
so
ng
it
ganun.
went on a
Oo.
loop.
Yeah.
Track.
So
First time
it
ko
kinda-
nakakita yun.
Ibang klase
But
talaga.
yet it-
Anomalous talaga.
The Typhoon Goring. mga
Unusual.
ganon. It's very unusual. There's an
Yes.
anomaly in the system that's going on.
Oo.
Because the elemental conditions that's taking place in nature,
Extreme.
nagiging extreme.
Oo.
Many don't realize that the oceans today, if you look at it from satellites, nakikita nila that the color has changed.
Color ng
Ocean.
Ng dagat.
ocean.
Oo,
Okay.
di
So
ba?
it's becoming green.
Di ba ang
It's
tawag pa
supposed to be
natin
blue.
nun? Blue zone. Pero
Oo.
blue area, no? Blue economy. Pero ano na siya?
Nag-green na.
Nag-green na.
So when it's like that, that means the content
Mm-mm.
is changing.
Oo.
So ngayon, that means an ocean that is turning green is unable to directly either absorb or bounce the heat of coming from the sun rays. So it's absorbed.
Oo, hindi na niya nagagawa yung work niya also as getting the carbon, di ba?
Carbon.
Kasi carbon sink dapat siya eh.
Oo.
Pero dahil green, hindi na niya na-absorb masyado yung kailangan
that's
niya
why-
i-absorb. Almost 50-something% na
Yeah,
green, di
some of
ba?
may mga patches
Oo.
sa ocean. Makikita niyo nagbabago yung kulay.
Oo.
It's not only the color. Pag nagbago yung kulay, pati yung laman ng dagat sa ilalim naapektuhan.
Kaya nga nagiging green because of the
Oo.
content is
The
nag-change.
content is
Oo.
changing. So that means the wildlife has to move elsewhere.
Oo, looking
The
for
fish
the
are
Yung mga
conditions they need.
sea creatures.
right.
Oo.
And now when you start having sea creatures move around, because alalahanin ninyo that may ano sila eh, they have their own cycles too and adaptation eh. So
And
that
your need
means
for food,
their
shelter,
food, their reproductive, yung mga ganun na nature nila,
Mm-mm.
hindi nila nagagampanan.
So naghahanap ngayon sila kung saan pwede.
So these are
Actually, thank you for that information. Ngayon ko lang nalaman na iba pala ang role ng blue and green sa
right.
color
Sa
ng
dagat.
dagat.
Oo.
Akala ko pare-pareho lang
You see,
siya.
Hindi.
what's going on like now dito sa palibot ng ating bansa, napapansin nyo because ang dami rin yung mga siltations na nagagaling sa mga bundok, kalupaan,
Kasi kulang ng puno.
So,
Oo. Bumababa
maabot
yung
ng halos
soil.
10 hanggang 15 kilometro yung kakaibang pagbabago ng kulay ng karagatan. Di
Pag
ba?
naulan lalo.
After typhoons, di ba?
Oo.
Nakikita nyo, lumalayo yung browning.
Brown.
Oo.
Oo.
So those are the
that
impacts.
contributes
that
to the
contributes.
problem.
And when this takes place, nag-aambag-ambag ngayon yan. Kasi why? The wildlife starts to move. The marine life starts to move elsewhere.
area.
So,
Oo.
siyempre,
Lalo nasisira ang balance in other areas
other
naman.
areas.
Oo.
So, minsan, baka yung ibang area.
Migration
Oo.
ng
Yes.
mga residents.
Yeah. Parang people are forced to move na rin, di ba?
Oo.
We have so
Ang hindi
many
lang nagmo-move yung mga
populations
binabaha
that
sa
are
Pampanga at
moving.
Bulacan. Ayaw nila mag-move. Tsaka nabota sa Malabon.
Hindi kaya nga, kasi nga, kaya nga pag-usapan natin kung bakit hindi mag-i-improve yung situation. Kasi they're hoping. Ang ngayon
Oh.
lang yan.
Mm-mm.
Hindi, next year, okay na kami. Hindi
Oo.
ba?
It is not.
Diyan yata pumapasok yung sinasabi minsan, hope kills. Sa kaka-hope natin, hindi natin matanggap yung talagang nangyayari.
There are situations
Hindi
kasi
tayo
we have to
gumagalaw.
understand. Again, you go back. The anomalies naman that we as human beings
Are
are,
experiencing.
not
Or
what we
causing.
are causing.
Oy, nako.
May anomalya yung ating way of life eh.
Oh, yes.
You see, that's the life we adopted and embraced. So it only means that the resources that nature has provided us
Mm-mm.
is also limited.
Nauubos natin.
So pag naubos yung resources na yon, these are the natural systems, no? The forest and even the ocean
The ocean.
ecosystem. Na may mga anomalya na nangyayari.
Oo.
So what happens is it's unable to provide the needs that we all are hoping for. Eh, ang problema niyan, the resource is already in its negative na yan eh.
Oo.
Kumbaga konti na yung resources. So the question would be, even the needs of today, nakikita natin our food needs, our water needs, you include na everything, yung fuel needs, housing needs. Kaya ngayon, pag sinabi niyong magtayo kayo ng bahay, ganito, okay, let's say you want to have a comfortable house, a middle-class suburb. Automatic yan, 30 million. Ganun na kagad ang presyo ngayon.
No matter how small.
Ganun kamahal ang bahay ngayon.
Ngayon,
Diyos ko.
buti nga, meron na yung prefab eh,
Oo.
ng mga mura. Pero,
Minsan containers.
these are things that we need to change. But this is outside of the point here. But binanggit ko lang yun because when you talk about resources, we should not just look at the basic kasi ang dami natin needs eh. But yet, because of the ocean and issues, right? Nasisira yung mga cycles niya. Tapos yung forest systems din natin, kumbaga pahirapan na. So,
Kasi pag gagawa ng bahay ang tao, hindi nila iniisip yung nature. Isip nila, I need materials, I'll go to the hardware. Parang wala yung connection with nature. It's actually from nature pa rin eh. The ingredients,
balikan
materials
natin
we
yung
need.
baha. Kasi yun ang issue eh. Sinabi ko
Kasi-
kanina yung Pampanga, Bulacan, Malabon.
Hindi, tsaka kahit
Cavite.
ano sabihin natin, yung i-report yung sa Hong Kong. It's a very, kumbaga, affluent place. Pero
Yeah.
tignan mo, yung
Tinamaan sila ni
ng
Gorin.
ulan, yung ulan na dumating daw was 19.7 inches in 24
Right.
hours that never na-experience since 1884.
Oh, you know what?
Mm.
You know, to translate that 19 inches?
Oh,
Okay.
gano'ng karami 19 inches?
Ondoy.
Gano'ng karami. In 24 hours,
Pero
then
si
in a
Ondoy
few
lang, the
hours
difference
lang.
between Ondoy is 6 hours.
Ganun.
What do you mean? Ondoy took 6 hours? Or
Yung
Hong Kong
ganun kabigat
took 6
yung ano.
hours?
Yeah, 6 hours yung Ondoy na
Dito sa
ganong
atin.
karami. 22 inches in equivalent. Kasi
Wow.
pumalo ng 750 millimeters yun eh.
Oh.
Hanggang
Oo.
800. So that means you convert it. So yung Hong Kong, buti nga sa kanila 24 oras eh.
Oo.
Mas
oo.
mahaba.
Ang Ondoy.
Pero
Mm.
sa kanila hanggang subway gushing daw yung water pababa tapos teachers din lumubog yung mga kotse
Ay,
kasi hindi nila inexpect ganung karaming ulan ang babagsak. Tapos nobody was prepared and they were out in the streets. So parang parang naging dagat na rin yung mga
because
kalye.
what happened was that model, what took place is that everybody was assuming
Oo.
that it was
yes.
just such and such speed.
Oo.
But they did not
They
look
couldn't foretell,
the-
foresee.
Yung
the
hangin
volume.
ng
So that's why
oo.
not the hangin only.
Oo.
It's the volume of the water,
Water.
Yeah.
Oo.
and the intensity of it and how quick
Yes.
It was coming down.
it was coming to
Oo.
them.
Yes.
They figured tinitingnan kasi nila tayo eh.
Oo.
They were looking
Oo.
at the Philippine model eh.
Pagdating sa kanya, mas malakas.
Sabi ko, ay naka,
Lumakas.
pumasok na kayo, dumaan na kayo sa karagatan pa eh, nagpalakas.
At
Eh, yun yung
lumagpot ng
cause.
rain.
Yes.
Yun yung cause
precipitation.
nung sinasabi natin kanina. Yung ocean, pag nagbago yung balancing systems niya. Kasi the marine life plays a major role in maintaining the balance.
Yeah,
Oh.
just like the turtles.
Just
diba? They
turtles,
help balance
just like
the
in
ocean.
the forest,
Mm-mm.
the wildlife plays a major role. Now, if you don't look after them, minsan naisip lang natin, magtanim tayo ng puno. Kahapon nga, we have one of our top architects in the Philippines. Siya yung gumagawa ng mga airports. Sa Clark, he's the one, no? Hot shot to. But when he came here, one thing was good with him was he also appreciates, siya nagsabi, we have to work with nature.
Yeah, he has feel for the land.
You have to
Yeah,
feel
the
for the land.
trees.
So ngayon, there's a whole place is building in Pasig. It's 9 hectares. And he invited me, can you come and put up a forest for us? May ganon. So
Kala
sabi
mo,
ko,
ano lang.
Forest
no?
maker ba ito?
So, sabi
Forest
ko,
maker.
Kala mo
kasi-
pop-up store, eh, no?
Forest builder.
Sabi ko, okay lang. Basta, you know, I mean, it's doable. I mean, I'll be glad to do it. Sabi ko na ganon.
Yes, oo.
Saan ito? Sa Pasig?
Pasig.
Oh, sana
Oo.
nga magkaroon pa ng
Hindi.
more trees doon.
Nag-create
we
sila
need
ng
it.
parang
All the green
BGC ng
spaces.
ng
Oo.
Pasig.
Ah, nice.
So,
I
sabi
hope
ko,
they'll be more green.
sabi
Oo.
ko,
We
sige.
need them.
Sabi ko, let's just give me a call. Gumanon ako. Kung gusto niya, let's integrate the green spaces.
Yes.
And then something that
Mga
will...
forward-looking architects,
Alright,
magaling,
so-
no?
Anyway, balik. Tingnan nyo, no? All of the resources that is being consumed by us today, we are already, kumbaga na inuutang na natin yon.
Lahat
Lahat inuutang na
Oo.
natin kasi yung resource na yan, it's meant for the future.
Overusing
Consumption.
now what we have to reserve for the future.
Yeah, that's for the next generation. 3,
Yung-
4, 5 generations
kaya
down.
nagagalit nga yung ibang youth.
Tayo na yung gumagamit.
Tayo
Nakakahiya naman kaya, no?
It's
Diba?
our generation and yung next generation sa atin ay nababas.
Oo.
Kasi tayo yung
Three generations.
nag-create nung
Consumption, ano?
yeah.
Consumerist idea.
At saka this whole climate situation, tayo rin ang nag-create
Because-
to make it more difficult for the future
So
generation.
fast, the change.
Oo.
And
A friend of
see,
ours
this-
just came from Bolivia. Dapat may snow doon ngayon.
yeah,
Sa
it's
kanilang
been since
bundok.
April,
Wala.
wala raw
Tuyo.
natuyo lahat ng
Oo.
snow-capped mountains.
Wow.
So sabi niya, they don't know if it continues on for who knows. Sabi nila, they might have a dry winter.
Oh, they depend on their ice
The water
for
comes,
water.
their ice comes, supplies them the water they need.
Oo nga.
So these are,
Anomaly.
it's not just us. Kaya nga we say it's a climate anomaly. Kasi the anomalies hit countries and regions differently.
Oo
And
nga.
it's your ability or your, kumbaga, you need to be abreast of what's going on per area.
Mm-mm.
For example, Ilocos, those regions got hit by the first typhoons of this year, no? Yung
Oh, and even the
Egay.
recent ones
And tapos
also.
yung recent one na dumating. Alam nyo, iba-iba yung impact sa mga probinsya.
Mm-mm.
It hit it differently.
Mm-mm.
Now, the differences is based on what is left of the natural resources that should have been protected.
Mm-mm. That also in turn protect us.
Protect us. Kasi
Oo.
yun ang resiliency mo at saka yung
Based on that.
adaptability mo is based on the natural resource you have. Now, when you have these things that are taking place in the ocean, the carbon, the
The
nitrogen,
carbon cycles.
the
so-
oxygen cycles, and all of this it's not taking place. It's not occurring normally. Kasi
na-impede.
may
ng mga
anomalya nga
problema.
sa klima. So anyway, batiin natin muna yung mga baka
Oo nga.
nahilo na kayo lahat.
Baka-
But hindi lang naman
But it's
puro
good
negative
for
yung
us,
sasabihin
no? It's
natin
good for
ngayon.
us to learn these
Binabato
things so
lang
we
sa
can
inyo.
be prepared.
Kasi
Oo.
may mga
Kami paraan.
there's truths to be needed to be learned by everyone, and we have to accept this truth. And we
Okay.
cannot just be deciding on whatever we want to do without looking at the future. You know,
Yes.
but knowing the problem, knowing where the issue is, it's actually
Knowledge is
good.
power.
Oh,
Okay,
so let's
alamin
batiin natin si
Oo.
Patrick. Good morning sa inyo.
Oh, and
Bert
Bert.
Pasco,
Bert
good
Pasco.
morning. Si Dasi, good morning. Ligaya, good morning.
Maligayang umaga sa iyo
Sige.
rin, Ligaya.
Mainit din dito, tulad yan, ano?
Oo.
Si Aurora.
Oh, yung aming likod,
Fair.
hindi ano yan, ha? Hindi yan yung, ano tawag nila ngayon? Kesh? Yung nilalagay nila sa likod ng mga nagsusum. Green screens na.
Ah.
Ito, really yung nasa
Tunay po yan,
likod.
tunay. Okay.
Hindi fake.
Oo.
Hindi fake. So, si Ver Enriquez, good morning. Aurora, good morning.
Thomas.
Thomas.
And Carlito.
Yes.
And
Si Carlito.
And Ate Myra.
Okay, good
Yes.
morning to all. And it's been a long time coming. Not that long, but syempre, we try to make our best to make information available to everyone and how we as a community, as individuals, and as a country should be working together, no?
Kasi nga,
To understand the issues.
yeah, kasi especially when you read the reports, what's going on, like in Greece, wildfire, tapos baha ngayon,
Ang
yung mga
daming
floods
fires,
sa
oo.
Greece. And then, also Hong Kong na baha. And of course, dito baha, kita naman natin, no? So it's, why are these things happening? And then, explain nga, blue and green ocean. It gives us, ganun pala ang impact ng buhay natin,
Every choice we
sa
make,
nangyayari.
meron
Okay.
result.
Yes, so there is a way that we can connect things. Kasi some people they just see things parang, ganyan lang, every year, ganito lang tayo. Tapos, but they don't know, paggrabe. And that something should be done. Kung baga, there should be solutions.
Yes.
It's not
kasi-
just looking at it,
Okay,
accepting.
for
oo.
example, no, I'm not sure whether everybody knows this information. I'll share this again with you all. Manila Bay, ang daming nakakabit dyan ng mga probinsya na binabaha today. Kasama dyan yung coastline ng Cavite. Tapos, syempre, kasama rin ng Maynila. Yung mga, Malabon,
Navotas.
Metro Manila.
sa Metro Manila.
Oo.
Tapos, nakakabit dyan yung Bulacan.
Yes.
Tapos nakakabit dyan yung Pampanga. In the history, if you look at kasi I like looking at the histories of what the environment was like 200 years ago.
Originally.
What was it like?
Yan
Do you
ang
know-
history na importante.
When the Spanish came, the galleon trade, marami silang barko. Dito ginawa.
Tsaka little boats also.
Tsaka little boats.
Oo.
Dito ginagawa.
Sa
Sa Pampanga. Kaya nga ang dami magagaling na
Kasi
carvers
tayo
dyan eh.
yung magaganda ang mga
Kahoy.
kahoy.
Alam niyo ba, para makagawa sila ng isang tinatawag nila na large size, hindi pa ito yung XL,
Hindi
Hindi
yung
pa yun.
galleons.
may medium.
Galleon
Basta yung mga
trade
galleon,
nila. Oo.
to build one, they need to harvest 3,000 trees.
Oh my, and then the trees were already huge.
Yeah, malalaking
That
puno na
time,
yun. To
yeah.
build one, galleon. Ito yung
Ang
mga,
dami nila.
may mga sukatan yan eh. May mga 100 tons, may
Siyempre
50
yung
tons,
planks
may
niya,
10 tons. Yun yung mga laki ng mga barko. So, kada tonelada nila, so siyempre, mas maraming kahoy. Pero the biggest one requires 3,000 trees to be cut.
Ang daming nagamit pala noon.
So
Kaya
that's
tayo naubusan ng
why
puno.
yung sa Pampanga, yung mga lugar ng sa Betis, those places, yung magagaling na carvers, nandun nila ginagawa yung mga lalaking galyon.
At
Tapos,
saka pala,
dinadala nila sa Pampanga River, then they would bring it out to the Manila Bay.
Through
Kasi
the rivers.
to the rivers. The Manila
Ang laki rin
Bay,
siguro ng rivers natin.
Manila Bay used to have 75,000 hectares of mangroves. I'm talking about Bulacan, Pampanga,
The whole bay. Oo.
the whole area around it, Cavite, Nabotas, Malabon, Manila. You have all of this
Ilan ulit? Ilan ulit?
75,000 hectares.
Ngayon anong natira?
1,200.
Oh my God.
So lahat, pinalitan nila ng 54 or 58,000 na fish pens. So ngayon, wala na tayong mga mangroves. So,
Kaya walang time protection.
wala. Kaya, tsaka
pati yung fish, wala na rin
ano nang nangyari? Ganito. Yung kasi if you're in the sea or in areas where if you've been to Bulacan and Pampanga, di ba nakikita niyo yung beautiful marsh, wetland,
Marshlands.
yung Candaba Swamp.
Oo,
Candaba.
Candaba.
Candaba Swamp
Oo.
is huge. Nandyan ho lahat ng ating mga kumbaga mga bisitang wildlife.
Yeah,
Oh,
migratory.
yes.
Migratory.
Migratory bird.
Hindi atin yun.
Migrants from another.
So hindi natin sila, kumbaga
So it's part of a world. It's all connected to other countries as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
Kasi
Anyway, the
their
interconnection
wildlife
is
needs
there.
our area.
But you go back, Bulacan and Pampanga, there are almost 8 towns of Bulacan and 7 towns of Pampanga that are constantly flooding.
No.
Pag nag-high tide, pumapasok yung tubig. Kasi,
Every day, whether may bagyo or
yeah,
not.
mas lalo yung mga lugar sa, Kalumpit,
Agonoy.
Yung mga ganyan. All of those places named after something that is water.
Yeah. Related to
So-
water lahat.
So,
Kasi there used to be marshland.
okay. Ito yung naging problema.
Oh.
Nagtayuan lahat ng maraming bahay.
Oo.
Naging towns yun.
Oo.
Townships lahat yon. Without considering that
The natural,
it's a
system.
natural.
Water pooling area.
Yes.
Oo.
So when alalahanin niyo yung Pampanga River Basin, ano ma'am, mukhang nahihilo na kayo dito sa
di
data na to.
parang-
ah.
Parang building your house on the sand naman by the shore.
Oo.
Ganon din. Alam mo
Talaga
na may
ganito yan.
tubig.
Hindi, nagulat lang ako
Doon
kasi
pa.
sasabi mo, maraming punong pinutol. So, I could imagine that Pampanga and Bulacan had a lot of trees.
Yung mga arayat, yung mga
Oh,
pinatubo.
Yes.
Had forests and
Nueva
The
Ecija,
whole
Sierra
So,
Madre.
it's not just a plain area.
No.
Mayroong mga puno na sumisip-sip rin ng mga tubig.
Yung Pampanga, yung Central Plains,
Marshland
natawag,
yun.
marshland.
Ah, marsh.
Oo.
Oo.
Pero ang nandiyan mga
Pero sa hills
mangroves.
nila, meron.
Kasi ang mangrove sa may alat yan Sa marshes, iba naman.
Oo, yun
Iba-iba
mas
naman ang
fresh water
vegetation
yun.
nun. Alam niyo yung marshlands,
Bakawan.
yung mga wetlands, carbon sink lahat yan
Mm-mm.
They are the best
So,
carbon sinks.
wala na
Meaning,
yung carbon sink na yan lahat.
Huh?
Yung kaubos-ubos.
carbon rise ang nangyari.
Carbon rice.
Nag-rise lahat ng carbon dahil tinanggal natin yung sink
At saka may isa
So we
pang
can't only blame the foreigners. Tayo rin meron din
Yeah.
yung
Hindi,
masama dito.
pero meron pa isang factor why there is a lot of flooding na overhear ko lang doon sa webinar ni Sir na about the sinking.
Yeah.
The sinking factor and malakas din ang sinking minsan 10 centimeters a year.
Here. Minsan
Bumabagsak yung ground.
Depende kung nasaan kayo. Kaya nga,
And that's because of getting the water from the
yeah,
ground.
that has to do
Oo,
with groundwater extraction
Kaya
in Metro Manila.
nagsisink. Mm-mm.
So, if you see now, like now, they're reclaiming, buti na lang hininto.
Oo.
Naku, sana
Kasi,
hindi na
but
ituloy.
who knows what will happen because
Makati-R
pag may
lang
political
yan.
will talaga, kasi ang mangyayari, yung baha, okay, ganito yan, Kunyari, such and such size ang nireclaim nila. Let's say, for example, they reclaim almost an equivalent of 60 to 70 hectares. Dito, yung dating yung ngayon, yung Mall of Asia. Ganon karami yan. If I'm right. Okay, so pag dinagdag mo yun sa dagat, yung tubig na pumapasok na galing sa dagat, saan pupunta? Kasi yung tubig,
Hahanap at hahanap
yung tubig
siya.
na yun,
Mm-mm.
hindi niya mababago yan. Those are natural occurring systems And every year, you will have high tides, you will have surges, all of the water, and then you have no forest that's draining simultaneous. So, if you are, unfortunately, Metro Manila or the largest population of the country is concentrated. 60% is concentrated in
Sa may dagat, may
Ah,
water.
Metro Manila, Bulacan, Pampanga, Cavite. So lahat ito, and it's a major concentration of where people live.
And
And
work.
it's sinking. Don't be thinking that whatever government would speak about as far, okay, we'll keep improving. We've been hearing that for 40 years eh.
Naku, bata pa tayo. Sinasabi na nila, inaayos
Bata
yung
pa lang
flood
kami,
control.
binabaha na kami dun sa eskwelahan eh. No?
Oo,
Ano ba yan?
Leon Gilpo.
forever na yan.
Staff Avenue. Ang
Espanya.
usapan ngayon,
Oo.
ano na, ang lalim. Hindi na lang yung kamong noon, sige, gatuhod lang, o 1 foot. Ngayon, hindi na. Gabewang in many places.
Minsan ganun.
Yung iba nga, the whole second floor,
Oo.
ground floor, wala na eh.
I'm giving you the information for everybody's understanding because if you are investing to buy a property somewhere,
Naku, sa
alalahanin
taas-taas
nyo.
ng lugar.
tingnan nyo kung, baka 10 years from now, water world na kami. Yung gano'n.
Mabuti nga kung 10 years. Ngayon, yun
You
mga
know,
prediction nila na this many
Hindi.
years,
So if
sandali
you
lang.
look at it,
Andyan
may
na.
sinking, tapos
may rising.
rising
of
of
water.
the water from the ocean and the abundance of rainfall, the
Rainfall.
large amount
Kasi
of rain
anong tawag nila doon sa
falls.
taas? Yung parang rivers na yun.
Tornado ba yun?
Hindi.
May term na parang rivers.
Atmospheric rivers.
Oo.
Atmospheric river.
Yun yung
Iba na yung
sinabi,
dami ng
yun ang
ulan.
nangyari sa Hong Kong.
Mm-mm.
Yun yung classic atmospheric river.
Oo.
Meaning, they were expecting, sige, hangin at ano yan. But the you know why? You know what happened there?
Oo.
And Hong Kong is a coastal
Coastal din yan.
city, no? Okay. The dagat, because may anomalya sa dagat, ngayon, may init. So it gains strength. So while the typhoon is moving towards your direction,
Lumalakas.
pag tumama na yan sa lupa, okay? Di ba sa kanila, halos 24 oras?
Yeah.
Yeah.
24 oras, nagpapalakas si Bagyo habang pumapalo na sa kanila.
Oh.
Yun ang nangyari sa atin sa mga typhoon Egay. Habang tumatama yan, sa ako, I always tell her here,
Parang naka-plug siya sa charger. Yung bagyo.
kumbaga yung nagpapalakas ng bagyo, nakakabit, kasi pag pumalo ka sa bundok, ano na yun parang
Sabog.
mihina na.
Oo.
Di ba?
Oo.
Ito hindi. Yung ulan. Kahit pumalo ka sa bundok, yung hangin, yung ulan.
Oo.
Yung ulan ang pinag-uusapan ngayon
Minsan yung lapad ng scope ng
Ang laki,
rain
ang
bands,
laki.
ang
Oo,
daming
very big.
areas na kinocover.
Kaya kahit anong sabihin nila na, di ba, pabago-bago yung, basta may anomalya nga
Hindi mo na isipin yung dito tatama kahit hindi sa'yo tatama.
Alam nyo,
Hindi, kaya
Hirap
nga,
ka pa din.
dati, we just watch out for signal number so and so
3.
type na. Pero ngayon, meron sila
guys,
mga
signal number 3, yellow, orange, red.
water, yung rainfall alert, you know.
Yun dapat ang binabantayan natin.
Babantayan
ngayon.
din yan.
Huwag nyo lang basta tingnan, tropical depression or now her typhoon category na to. So you don't just rely on
Kasi yun
that
mostly wind
information.
ang iniisip pag
Wind yun
typhoon.
Pero
Strong wind, di ba? Pero
yung
yung dalang tubig,
rainfall.
nako.
kasi kapag nag-orange, nag-yellow, nag-red, may number of millimeters ang pinag-uusapan. So pag nakita niya, wow, 50 to 100. Si Egay
50 to 100
was 100 to 200.
millimeters
Kaya,
of rain.
Nako.
ano lang yun projection.
Oo, it could be way worse.
That could be continuous. It's not like when it coming in, it hits land, it starts to slow down, nauubos yung ulan. Hindi. Yung torrential rain niya, tuloy-tuloy. Hanggang
Kasi na
it
ano pa yung
decides to leave.
habagat.
may habagat ka pa.
May habagat pa kasi.
Tapos kung ano pa, walang drainage yung area yung
Yeah,
tinitirahan mo, walang
wala na.
labasan yung tubig, di ba?
Kahit na may labasan, pag
saan siya
nag-high tide
pupunta,
pa,
di ba?
High tide,
Oo.
naglubong.
lubog lahat. So, we go back to Pampanga, Bulacan, Metro Manila. Okay?
O yung iba, tiga Angeles City.
Oh,
mga
Angeles
nakikinig,
City
Si
is-
Ligaya,
hindi.
tiga Pampanga
Yung mga
din.
taga Pampanga sa Upper Pampanga River, okay lang kayo. Ang problema nyo, wala kayong water pressure. Kasi inubos nyo na yung groundwater. Kaya wala kayong puno sa mga bulubundukin na lugar. Pero there's a way of doing things, no? But the question here for everybody, the tendency is for many of us, no matter what the conditions are, we don't want to leave our homes. So what happens is,
Comfort zone for most people.
Kaya lang, hindi na comfortable.
Our government-
Hindi, sabihin mo, dito
Oh.
ako lumak.
Oo.
Mga magulang ko, dito rin.
tanong nyo to
lola.
kung experience nyo na to, napansin nyo ba yung mga kalye tumataas ng tumataas? Yung mga bahay
Yun
na
ang ginagawa nila eh. Sige, taasan natin kalye.
taas ng taas ngayon yung kalye.
So the water that could have been on the kalye, nandyan na ngayon sa mga bahay.
Okay,
Kasi
good morning
hahanap
kay
siya ng
Clarice
lugar.
and Clifford.
And Ben
Ben Torres.
Torres. Oo.
Good morning.
At saka kasi,
And Clarissa.
parang gumawa sila ng swimming pool na na-enclose lahat ngayon ng ulan dun sa looban, di ba? And also, of course, the more you raise, I was thinking just the more you raise the roads, this also means quarrying. You
Yeah.
have to quarry. From the river, the bato, and from the mountains, yung mga soil naman.
Tapos now they want to build mega dikes.
Oo.
Dito
Tapos
sa
yun yung
Pampanga
binabanggit
River. Ay.
mong, ano ba yun yung, they're trying to put land in the ocean. Eh, saan galing yung
Backfill,
land na
landfills.
yun? Oh,
Yeah,
kinukuha
dredging.
na niya ng
Oo.
lupa.
Okay, for
They're
example,
literally moving mountains.
yung nagde-dredge ngayon, there are like, I think, 5 or 6 companies doing it in Manila Bay for the reclamation.
Nako.
We're saying here is simple. Kasi pati ang mga Las Piñas side, eh, ang
Dati
direction
nga,
yan
andun
hanggang
yung-
Sangli Point eh.
Oh.
Di lang sila sinasabi, but yun ang projected plan noon. Pero ang pinagagalingan ng inyong dredging material comes from Cavite. Some places Bulacan. So what happens is, when you start to dredge, even if it's 30 to 40, 50 kilometers out in the sea, lumalalim ngayon yung tubig. So ngayon, so yung accumulation doon, ngayon dati kasi normally ang dagat, ano yan eh, may natural
Gradually
contours
going
yung ilalim
sa
niya.
beach. Oo.
Kasi that's how it was designed.
Yes.
You know, there's
That's
a
for the
science behind
safety
it.
of those on land.
But now when you start dredging it, so lumalalim.
Ay, nako.
Again,
Tapos nasira mo pa, don't forget, maraming nakatira dyan.
and then
Mga living organisms.
organisms, you're killing all of them. The ecosystem
They're
of the ocean,
destroying
you're
the
destroying it.
habitats. Oo.
So what's going to happen is, so closer to land, you'll have a huge pool of volume of water.
Nako.
Then, what's going to happen during high tides or
That's a lot
storm
of water
surge?
looking for a place to go.
So yun, papasok at papasok. Kung yung nangyari kayo, yung mga taga-Naik, taga-Ternate, taga-Rosario,
Oo,
Cavite,
Rosario.
taga-Salinas.
Yun
If-
nga, that area.
I'm talking to you about this and you are feeling the changes in your coastal areas now. The fact this is not just fishing villages. These are already homes.
Mga
Inward.
cities na nga yung areas.
Eh, yung ilog nyo pa
Marami pang
are
ilog.
silted. So the dagat is going to come in through there and then your waters in your wells or whatever source of water,
Makakasalt na.
yung salinity mag-change.
Oo.
So these are dynamics, no? Again, solution naman tayo kasi kanina ko pa binabato yung problema.
Walang katapusan ng problema.
Kasi minsan sa amin
Palalim ng palalim
Oo,
yung
oo.
problema.
kasi meron naman kami during our
Sige nga,
symposiums.
let's talk about solutions.
Solution.
Oo.
Okay.
O yung mga scientists, nag-iisip din sila.
Yeah,
Of course.
Siyempre, there's a group of scientists,
If
may,
you're only listening to them,
may
hindi
mga
tayo
scientists na
nakaabot sa
engineer.
kanila.
Very good science.
may mga
Yes.
scientists na engineers, may mga,
Concerned.
ano sila, yung talagang, you cannot go gray na lang ngayon,
They've
puro
been
construction.
warning us, but nobody's listening.
You have to go back to nature. These are
Natural
the natural
solutions.
solutions. Because nature already has a solution.
Nature
to
had
your
it all
issue.
together until we
We decided to
Tampered
create
with
our own
everything.
animal, yung sa sarili natin buhay, may anomalya rin. Kasi
Na
we
kaya
are
lang
over-consuming the resources. So we go back. Yesterday when the guest architect I had here, Antoy, magaling, he's a hotshot one. And he was very appreciative of what he saw. And he said, our designs, anything that we do today has to conform with what is natural.
yeah,
So
you cannot fight with nature.
they're using lighting, they're using harvesting wind, they're using harvesting rain in their new structures, recycling. May mga ganun na ngayon. So these are really good kasi the designs are conforming to the
Para
needs.
naman sustainable.
Right.
Oo.
So ngayon, sabi na lang niya, kasi most of the places they start, ang kulang nila, yung green spaces.
Mm-mm.
Sabi ko, it's doable. Just give us Even if it's 2,000 square meters, even if it's just this big,
Mm-mm.
we'll create
But
green
you gotta
space.
have it, yeah.
Ay, ganyan.
somehow
And
or
it
other.
will have an impact.
Mm-mm.
So even in your homes, this is what I'm pointing at. If you live in Metro Manila, you live in places that are, I mean, if it's flood prone, then you have to decide, you know, that the flooding, accept this reality that the city is sinking. Bulacan, Pampanga, most of these places are sinking. Cavite is sinking. Many places in the Philippines are sinking. Note of this because we are kasama tayo dun sa
Archipelago.
yung fire.
Ring
yung
of fire.
Ring of fire.
Fire.
For the
Earthquake prone tayo.
Oo.
But
Bata
we,
pa tayo, sinasabi na nagsisink ang Manila.
right,
Eh ngayon,
we
the
should
rate
be
is
able
getting
to
worse.
manage things. But you should not replace the forest and get rid of more resources for your gain today. Kasi ano na tayo we're already at deficit na
Debt na tayo.
Oo.
Oo.
Like now,
Utang.
they're opening up kaliwa, kanan, central. Nung araw, kaliwa dam
Dam.
lang
Oh, dams.
to supply Metro Manila of fresh water, of clean drinking water. Water is not the issue.
May tubig naman.
There's so much water. Kaya nga tayo binabaha There's so much
It's what
water
we
that
do
comes.
with it.
It's
And
what
on
and
what we
how we
mess with the
manage
land,
it. So,
no?
it's not, ano nga ito, yung mga climate scientists, pati yung mga water scientists, we don't have problems with water, fresh water.
But it's what we do with it that's
do with it.
messing everything
It's
up.
messing it. Kasi pollution. So,
At
each
saka
of
walang
us has to
tigil
be,
naman tayo sa basurang plastic.
each of us would have to be individually be responsible for these things. Kasi, again, think of your apos, think of your grandchildren.
And even us, we're already going to experience pa within the next 10 years, 15 years. Kasama pa rin tayo dun, di ba?
Kahit now pa lang, you don't even have to wait. We're already experiencing problems.
But especially for
Stay.
those, yung mga apos, kasi mahaba pa yung kanilang sabihin natin, kung si apo baby pa lang ngayon, 50 years, 60 years from now, ang laki ng difference na ngayon ng temperatures, ng
Sana
climate.
naman before then,
ng
meron ng tumino ng mga tao na gawa na ng
Wala na
paraan.
makatulog dito sa mga nakikinig sa atin ngayon. But
But we
anyway,
just
the
want to
point-
underline the fact that it's time to do something.
Think
It's not
about it.
something in the future. It's here now. It's really
It's what we
making
do.
life so hard now.
I-
We need to change.
Yeah,
talaga.
like I always talk about this in symposiums about when you talk about biocapacity, it begins with us individually. Kasi the amount of water we use, the amount of food we consume, the housing, the clothing, the energy, all of the, sabi nila, you have to be measuring your carbon footprints. All of these are all part of the process. Now, when you insist on living in highly urbanized centers, it only means the resources has to be supplied to you. But
Saka nakikita ngayon, ang mahal-mahal.
resources are dwindling.
Oo. Kaya everything
Food
is
is expensive. Energy is going to be expensive. So many things are going to be expensive. Living conditions are going to go skyrocketing. Every move you have to pay. There's always an expense. Nothing's free in this world. We have to understand this.
I think we
So acting responsibly,
ang mahal lahat.
acting responsibly is very important. It begins with our own contribution individually. Let's say, with climate anomalies taking place, you look at the contributors, the biggest major contributors to it, and you will find that we're part of it. And to accept that responsibility to make changes in the way we live
Yeah.
is very crucial.
It's time for us to be able to live wise, di ba?
Yeah.
See the difference between what you can change and what you cannot change.
Kasi may desired
Assess na tayo anong
there are real
gagawin.
needs and there's desired. Kumbaga, may mga bagay na,
Oo.
Teka.
Wants lang siya, wants.
oo, wag na masyado yung ganyan. For
Hindi
example,
need.
now there's some, I think this is what I heard, there's a property bubble now. Meaning, nagba-burst na yung bubble kasi ang dami namuhunan sa mga condos and all that. And napapansin nila na talagang
Pahirapan.
resource-wise,
Sa
You-
tubig, sa
you know, you
ilaw.
cannot pack people in one place. Eh.
Mm-mm.
You cannot.
Abnormal yun.
Right. We had a pandemic, so you've seen the difficulty, and we
Mm-mm.
need to learn from that. There has to be some transformation in our own lives. We see, you know, I mean, pleasure is the goal for most of us. We're after happiness, and material needs will not give that to us. You can only give so much. And if you learn to accept the fact that, I always talk about this. Let's deal with going back to basics.
Mm-mm.
You know, we are adapted to a way of life we've embraced. I mean, when people come here, sabi ko nga all the time, we're 80% self-sufficient in food. Our water is from our springs. Our energy is from the sun. And eventually, we'll have turbine also. So these are things that you contribute to do things. Minimize your driving around if it's not necessary, And most importantly, create green spaces in your home and also be in your thinking in your own home. Make adaptation too. Minimize the use of plastic, recycle your water, save water,
Grow some
grow
food.
food,
Oo.
you know,
In pots or whatever,
Right.
whatever you have.
and then don't use plastics. Yung ano niya ngayon, may plastic pa rin. Hirap na hirap kami pigilin yan, yung single-use plastic.
Endless. We have to
Ang
always
dami
tell
pa rin namin
people.
pinupulot ng mga plastic sa tabing dagat.
Tsaka when people want to come visit us, we tell them na, huwag na kayo magdala ng plastic.
Water bottles na lang, please. We'll provide water. There's so
Oo.
much water. And you can drink directly from the spring.
Yeah,
Yung
yesterday
mga
our
ganun ba?
guests, they had their bottle of water, but tinapon yung tubig, kumuha ng spring water.
I suggest also that people, when they go out to the countryside, not go just to the resorts, to the beach, but go look for properties or areas where you can possibly settle and have a more decent life.
Right. There,
Diba?
if education is what you're after, there are many places now that
Mm.
are offering the needs of children.
Yes. Oh, yesterday there was a
Hospitals.
little boy here and he was squealing with the light the entire time kasi he was playing there in the little streams. Tuwang-tuwa.
Tuwa-tuwa.
Was
Bring your
learning
child
about,
out to nature. It makes a whole difference. So,
Mm.
to our friends, si Mary Jane humabol.
Yes.
Good morning to you.
Hello, Mary.
Okay, finally, we want to thank you for being with us this morning, and I hope that the information we shared with you will help
Didn't
you.
scare you.
I'm just passing on the information.
Well,
That's
Yes,
nice
this
to
is
be-
reality.
Nice to be enlightened.
Yes.
Diba? Ganun ba yun?
But let's act on it. Yeah.
right. So,
Thank
you all have
very
a pleasant
much.
weekend and take care. God bless. Thank you.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Mm-mm.
See you next week.
Uy, Francis, humabol.
Who's that? Somebody has the
Pangkalusugan, pangkalikasan, go Palakas!